At the risk of sounding like a broken record, I was struggling with writing this week. Surprise, surprise. So last week I told you that I finally got to a storyline and an outline that I quite liked. And then I presented it at a research seminar where I got both, like management feedback from the management side of the faculty and some like general, more technical feedback from the analytics unit. And it was very productive. It was a great meeting. I had a lot of good time presenting my work and kind of getting the feedback and trialing out the story, kind of like how it lands when it's actually articulated. And I made some small adjustments, but like in principle, my outline was done earlier this week. I just struggled an insane amount with actually turning it into fluid text. Now, when I say fluid text, I had this outline, I had these like really, really monster bullet list, and I just could not get to the point where I start forming sentences. And I opened up my overleaf document over and over, and it was just so hard. And I typed the sentence, and it's like, oh, actually, that's not good. That doesn't sound the way I want it to sound. Oh, but like this would need a different citation. Oh, like, is this the right verb to use? How should I connect this to this stuff? I was struggling really, really hard with it. So what do you do when you struggle with writing? You procrastinate. Yay! I explored a bunch of methodology. Still, I had my results. I rerun them. But then I was like, oh, somebody on GitHub implemented some weird trickery that I wanted to implement myself, but didn't have the time. Oh, maybe now this is gonna work. It turns out that the model I tried to run would have needed like, 80 hours of runtime to finish, and I was like, I don't have that time. And I also had some grading to do because the course was finishing up that I was TAing. And then I just like occupied myself with other stuff. But I did promise my supervisors that I'm gonna send them theory and methods by Friday. And Friday afternoon, I had a call with one of my supervisors who I'm doing the course with to discuss some stuff around grading. And then she said like, hey, yeah, do finish the grading, obviously, because there was a deadline on that. But like, other than that, just, you give us something. And she gave me a piece of like perspective, which unlocked something in my brain. So a lot of the advice around writing sounds insanely cliche. Everyone knows that it's a shitty first draft and, like it's just the first step to making a good version, blah, blah, blah. But like, you don't feel it, like, that this is not final. But when you sit down, it's just so hard. And I read around, I Googled, I watched videos, like even for my thesis, I struggled with this immensely. And I just could not get the framing right. Like I still felt this resistance despite knowing consciously all the knowledge and all the cliches about like the first draft and whatever. And my supervisor just told me a perspective that actually helped. And I want to share that with you today. So she used the analogy of a paper as a painting. And then what she said is that what I have to give them now and what I have to create now is the canvas. And the final product is obviously, it's not the canvas itself, it's the painting, it's what's on the canvas. But you still need the canvas to get started. And like both of my supervisors are very experienced, so they know, how to shape a draft. But they cannot help me if I just don't give them anything to work with. Because yeah, my monster bullet list might make sense to me, but until the point where it's actually legible, fluid paragraphs, they can't help me. And this just unlocked something in my brain. I was like, okay, whatever it takes, I'm gonna get this on the paper. I decided to resort to my classic trick of when I get the writing done, and woke up really, really early this morning. Okay, that's not entirely true. It's not like insanely early. I woke up like 5:45 or so, and I just like walked downstairs, took a quick shower, made myself a coffee, and sat down to work. And I found that somehow, anytime I need to get work done, my best work happens before 9 a.m. And that's what I did. I just worked for 3.5 hours, typing my little heart out. And now I have about 2,000 words of a canvas. And is it perfect? Obviously not. It's a lot of places, it's super clunky. I just like left random comments in there. I don't know how to present a lot of the results yet, but it's something. It's something that my supervisors can read and evaluate and give feedback on and give comments on and be like, hey, explain this. Oh, this is not the right citation for this. Oh, this is how you should report it. We can work with this. I really don't know, like, what was it about the canvas analogy that kind of like unlocked it for me, but it really did. So that's kind of what I'm up to now, right? I just typed it up, 2,000 words. The final product should be around 7K or so, but I just took my bullet list and wrote it out as a first iteration. These are all my thoughts. Let's see what we can do with it. So now Monday morning, my supervisors are absolute angels, and they are gonna take the Monday, like this was the 23rd of December, to give me a round of feedback on it so I can incorporate it over the holidays. And then we are rolling with this. It's such a relief to have this document like actually typed out and to see kind of the ideas take shape. And I do think that, you know, with a round of feedback, or perhaps maximum 2 rounds of feedback, because we don't have much more time than that, I will be able to turn this into something that that I can be proud of. So yeah, think of your first shitty draft as a canvas, and then go type some words. Wow, that was weird.